And we're live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. Did you all have a good weekend?
Yep. It was a good weekend.
It was.
It's Father's Day.
It was Father's Day. My daughter got married. So I kind of had a
Gifts
busy
for Dad?
weekend. She got married on Juneteenth. I said, you're not so she's white, so she shouldn't be celebrating. So they said, you're now going to probably have a federal holiday off for your anniversary.
Nice.
So I said that was a nice thing that got that was a nice holiday that got added to the that Joe Biden put into place last week. So that was cool. What else? Got some good books coming out this week, everybody. I'm hoping we get some good recommendations. We'll have a lot of I love it when we're watching with everyone and they share with us the books that they like that you've recommended in the past. I always love that when I see that on Facebook. So same routine. We'll give you some recommendations. Amanda's in the background and she'll be putting those into the chat. And without further ado, Gabe, you want to start us off?
I guess I will start us off if we could. I got share screen. Sorry, I got to change my view real quick to get to. It's the one thing about Zoom, the share screen's got to be when I can only access when in full screen. But The Secret Keeper of Jaipur.
Ooh.
And people are going to be, why should I care? I'm going to be like, because it's one of Good Morning America's 27 books most anticipated in June. Alka Joshi is the author of a little book that we published last year called The Henna Artist. That was a Reese Witherspoon club pick and sold a lot of copies. It's a really nice, it's the first book we've sold of Joshi's, and she got really wonderful reviews. And the new book, Secret Keeper of Jaipur, which goes on sale tomorrow, is getting just as much attention as the first book. We have a nice quote from Pam Jenoff on the cover here. She got a lot of great reviews from the trade journals, the publishers' weeklies, and the library journals. And the book will be out in the world tomorrow, and then all the other reviews will start breaking. So really striking package on both books, actually. I didn't think we could outdo The Henna Artist, which was beautiful. Really the first one that caught my attention on that book, but really terrific read. And what we have with The Secret of Jaipur is we pick up with our heroine Lakshmi, who is our protagonist of the previous book, who in the first book escapes a terrible marriage when she's 17, goes to the pink city of Jaipur and begins a new life as a henna artist, and has quite a career in the life. In book 2, she is now married, and we're a few years down the road, and we're picking up the rest of her life, as well as her protege Malik, who is learning to negotiate the world of a city like Jaipur in a big country with a lot of people and red tape and systems that work around the red tape, etc. So it's a book that keeps a really good pacey book that keeps you engaged with characters that you picked up in the first book. You don't have to read the first book necessarily. They are very different plots, very separate plots in and of themselves. But just, a really fun, exotic page turner of a book that takes you into another world and introduces you to another great character. And she keeps the ball rolling with this series. So I'm already looking forward to the next one.
She is awesome too. We didn't host her for the book, but she actually was the interviewer for an event that we did with another author that I'm forgetting right now, but she's lovely. And so I'm so happy for her that she's had this success with the first book and now going to be the second one too. So,
yeah, I think the second one's going to do just fine. It's one of those really solid series, I think.
Yeah, yay. And so it was a GMA, or was it who
Reese?
The first one? It was Reese. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was a Reese book. Okay, awesome. Yay. Okay, Patricia, you are next.
Oh, I'm Patricia Nelson. I'm from Princeton University Press and Yale University Press. Starting out with a wonderful Princeton book that we're having a lot of fun with, especially in California. Billy Wilder on Assignment, Dispatches from Weimar, Berlin, and Interwar, Vienna. So of course we know the legendary movie director, screenwriter, Billy Wilder. He won 6 Academy Awards. He was the director of films like Double Indemnity, Lost Weekend, Sunset Boulevard, Some Like It Hot, The Apartment. But before all that, the prehistory, he was a struggling freelance reporter in Vienna and Weimar, Berlin. And this brings together 50 pieces never translated into English, 1925, 1930 period. He writes on Charlie Chaplin. He writes on Cornelius Vanderbilt, the wealthy man. He writes on the Prince of Wales and actors and films and the director Erich von Stroheim, on Threepenny Opera and what sounds like a perfect preview of his future, a 1928 film called A Blonde for a Night. These are brilliant, they're witty and closely observed vignettes. At one point, he's struggling to make ends meet by picking up cash as a dancer, paid by the hour to accompany others and also give lessons. And out of his pitiful 400 marks, he has to scrape together enough to purchase a gramophone and records, and also the down payment for a suit of dark blue, finely patterned, double-breasted 6 buttons and wide trousers. So we can picture him as a man about town. We've had a big response to this. Wall Street Journal, brightest moments here, let you watch a little more of the human comedy through Billy Wilder's eyes. And the LA Review of Books really enjoyed this book. It says it's like being in a German coffee house, catching up on popular culture, planning your next weekend adventure in the Weimar Republic. So it's a great book, and it's brought together and just edited and shaped by Noah Eisenberg, whom we know from his wonderful book, We'll Always Have Casablanca. We have a great translator here. She's translated Kafka and Dietrich and Riefenstahl and also Billy Wilder. What's wonderful for Warwick's is Noah Eisenberg will be at Warwick's this Thursday, June 24th. What a great conversation ahead. And naturally, we hope he channels Billy Wilder for us. So the book is delightful. It's been in the Financial Times, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, all over the place. It's kind of a revelation and a prehistory of Hollywood and a kind of a cabaret moment that intrigues us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Patricia, we're definitely looking forward to the event. It's going to be a virtual event. So we'll be here at this exact same time on Thursday. So 4:00 on Thursday, Noah will be here. And we actually hosted him for a live event at the store. I think he's got some La Jolla connections, if I'm remembering right, that Noah does. We had a great event for him for We'll Always Have Casablanca. That was a really good event with him too. So looking forward to Thursday's conversation. And I think Shelley's going to be with him for that conversation. So it'll be great.
What a fun book.
Yeah. Okay, Andrea.
Great. Thanks for that. Yet another book that I want to add to the ever burgeoning pile. So I'm going to share my screen and hopefully be able to get this up quickly. Why can't I find it? Yes, here it is. Okay, can you see that now?
Yep.
Okay. The book I want to talk about is The Killing Hills by Chris Offutt. And this just came out on June 15th, so last week. It's a hardcover at $26, and this is from Grove Press, one of our very well-regarded literary presses. And Offutt is definitely a literary master. He's award-winning, and this latest one, The Killing Hills, is definitely a propulsive thriller. So he's moved into a new category. He's usually more of considered more of just a straight-ahead literary novelist, but this has a thriller component. And what a thriller it is! He is handling this new genre for himself very well. It revolves around a suspicious death that exposes loyalties and rivalries in a tight-knit, secretive community in the Kentucky backwoods. He's called in to investigate secretly by his sister, who has just become the sheriff there, and there are some politicians in town that don't want her to investigate, and she can't really, they want to turn it over to the police in a larger community. They want to turn it over to the FBI, and she's not sure if it's that they don't trust her because she's the new kid on the block. Is it sexism, or is there something that they're trying to hide? So that's why she calls in her brother. And he is Mick Hardin. He's our hero. And he's a combat vet and an Army CID investigator. So he has the chops to secretly look around without anyone, knowing, and he knows this area in the Kentucky Hills. So he's the first, he's the best person to really figure this out. He's got a lot on his plate. His wife is expecting their first child. They're not getting along. So this is sort of hampering his ability to fully concentrate, but he does a great job of uncovering layer upon layer. It's told extremely well. As I mentioned, Offutt he can write a sentence, and the plot is excellent here. But it works on a lot of different levels. So I think this is a real winner. And we've got a couple of copies on hand, I believe, at Warwick's at this point. So once again, this is The Killing Hills by Chris Offutt. And that's $26 hardcover from Grove Press.
I think he's got a sister that lives in San Diego.
Really? That looked really good. And I love things from Grove, so I might have to get my hands on that one.
I can send you a copy, darling.
I might have to get my hands on that one, because that one sounds kind of right up my alley. All right, and I'm sure will our customers too. Okay, Gabe, what do you got for us?
Oh, wow, me already?
It's you. This is the we're like a lightning round with the four of us.
Lightning all the time. It's so hot in here right now. Hot. So this is a personal favorite of mine. Scott Howard Cooper is the author. Our author's done a number of books on sports figures before, Reportage. It is a really thorough examination of Steve Kerr's life. So if you don't know who Steve Kerr is, you don't watch basketball. But that doesn't matter, because he's had a really interesting life. I should have popped this up for Father's Day. This actually went on sale last Tuesday. But I think it's a good book anyways for somebody who really wants to read a really solid biography on a really interesting man. I know Steve Kerr I know of Steve Kerr from way back. I'm a big basketball fan. I watched him playing, though we're not much different in age. Well, maybe I'm considered a little bit older, but I saw him playing in Arizona, and he was when Arizona had a really good basketball team, and I saw him go through an injury. His father was actually kidnapped in someplace like Lebanon, and one of these places where we go into all the time, and he was kidnapped and teaching at the American University there. He was kidnapped and actually murdered, executed. So all this while he was going to school, then he blew out his knee, a lot of pressure, and he turned out into a really incredible young man. He used to get interviewed a lot because he was the senior on the squad. He always had a good head on his shoulders. You saw him become a professional basketball player. He won a lot of championships at Chicago. So fans of, Arizona basketball, fans of the Chicago Bulls. He was the guy that came out and shot deep three-point shot when they needed somebody to score. They got the ball to Steve Kerr, and he executed, and he did his job, and he was that kind of guy. You could always count on Steve Kerr in college. He was small, he was slow, he couldn't jump, but he played a long time in the pros because he's got character. He's got really great character, and most recently, he's been fighting the fight for democracy. He's been very outspoken on the outrageous behavior of the previous administration, and he, along with the San Antonio coach Greg Popovich, have been very outspoken. And the NBA as an organization is very outspoken. I think there's a lot of really a lot of coaches in the NBA who speak out unlike any other sport. So you have a lot of different worlds here. You've got, but primarily you've got a really interesting guy who's had a really interesting life. Publishers Weekly gave it a starred review. Library Journal gave it a starred review, and it is, I think he's beloved. He took a Golden State Warrior team that had done nothing for 40 years and took him to the NBA Finals into a championship. So a couple of championships. So he's a good storied sports career. So for that person, this is really terrific. But again, like I said, he's really an interesting guy and a really insightful man. And I'm really excited that we had the opportunity to publish him. So that is my pitch for Steve Kerr.
That sounds like it's a good one. Although your descriptions, when you said he's short and slow and something else, it's like not the terms I'd use for a basketball player.
Yeah, but he's tenacious and he's got a shot and he makes it when he needs to. A lot of people, there's plenty of great athletes out there, but it's all about that.
A lot of it's here too, though. You know what I mean? It's a mentality that people have that it's like,
He's also got a lot of heart, and he's very well respected by his players, and that says a lot about who he is. And I have a lot of respect for him as a human being, not just a coach.
Exactly. Yeah, really great guy.
Cool. I hope this book does well for him. Okay, Patricia, you're next.
Show you a Yale book that I just got this week. It should be arriving in stores pretty soon. We've been waiting for it for a while. It's by Kate Viggers. It's called Mission France: The True History of the Women of SOE. So formed in 1940, the Special Operations Executive, or SOE, was to coordinate resistance work overseas. The organization's F section sent more than 400 agents into France. 39 of these agents were women. We're kind of familiar with the bestseller, A Life in Secrets, on Vera Atkins, Spy Mistress. We've not, however, heard as much about this broad spectrum of different ordinary women in extraordinary times. Women parachuting in behind the lines, in huge danger, espionage, sabotage, reconnaissance. It interweaves the stories of these 39 women agents. We hear of, Yvonne Cormeau, who flawlessly transmitted wireless messages, or Pearl Witherington, who led 3,000 resistance men, Noor Inayat Khan, who stayed at her post, transmitting until arrested. So it's a very riveting and brilliantly researched account. It has some really very moving pictures that are full of that period flavor, which we seem to be doing today, including identity cards, safe houses, just the character of these very different women and their adventures, and an unbelievable feeling of risk in this book. It kind of eschews the glamorous approach, the sort of Charlotte Gray or Violet Szabo stories that we know, and offers a cooler, sort of insightful perspective on many different women and their courage. A startling number did not survive the war. This recounts their harrowing arrests, their imprisonment. 3 were executed in the very last hours of the war at Ravensbrück camp. Some who survived were traumatized. Many who survived kept silent. So this book finally breaks the silence around their story, their heroism. In the last appendix, I'm particularly moved by this page. All of the agents, this column survived. This column did not, giving you a sense of the proportionate fear of this extraordinary actions behind enemy lines. It's got a great, very British package. This comes from Yale's London office. It's just kind of a must read for fans of the Secret War. And I think fits well into that niche.
Oh, it sounds fascinating. And I think, what I love about books like that are true accounts of the real story, the pictures, because there's a lot of historical fiction that's written, but you don't ever really get to see the real, because they've researched it and they've done fabulous research, but actually seeing these women and seeing their pictures really kind of brings it to you in a whole different way.
You know exactly what you mean about historical photographs and how even the most careful BBC production series that gets it all right. And they must have a warehouse of, typewriters and old furniture and wallpaper. But still, there's a quality of life and lived life that you really feel in these books.
Right. No, I agree 1,000%. So I think that that's really got an audience in our store particularly, I think. So thank you for that one. Okay, Andrea, what do you got? Oh, before you go, Andrea, wait. I got to read you Beth Doherty's comment because we love Beth and she's always here every week with us. So hi, Beth. Thanks for coming in again. We love having you. So she says, sometime back, Andrea recommended E.X. Ferrer's Andrew Bassett Cozy English Village Mystery, The Other Devil's Name. That's the 4th book in the series. So she got all 4. She said it was a tricky move to get all 4, Andrea. And she's had fun reading the first and she's looking forward to reading the rest. So yay, Beth. Yay, Andrea.
Excellent. I'm so glad that you enjoyed those, Beth. Yeah, I'll have some more from that press as they, fully come aboard with us here. I am actually going to talk about another mystery today because we're now, officially ensconced in summer, and what better thing to do is go to the beach and read a mystery. So I want to talk about Trouble at the Brownstone. This is a Nero Wolfe mystery in a series that's extended by Robert Goldsboro. Of course, Rex Stout started this, I don't want to say franchise, that's a terrible word, and he would hate that, but he would. So Rex Stout began the Nero Wolfe mysteries, and now it's extended by Robert Goldsboro, who, as Booklist says, does a masterly job with the Wolfe legacy. So here, Archie Goodwin, who is the narrator and long-term right-hand man of Nero Wolfe, goes undercover on the waterfront in this mystery. And he's basically, it all starts out, Archie isn't really fond of another one of Wolfe's employees, Theodore Horseman, and he takes care of the orchids on the rooftop of Wolfe's West 35th Street brownstone. But as a loyal assistant, of course, he, the private eye, Archie, he has to put his feelings aside when the surly orchid keeper, Theodore, stumbles through the front door, and it just like collapses as he's been beaten within an inch of his life. So the mystery rolls out from there. And I just think this is a fabulous extension of the Nero Wolfe series. And as I said, fathered by the great Rex Stout in the 50s. And that's arguably the golden age of American mystery writing. But, if you've finished all of those great Rex Stout Nero Wolfe mysteries, you've got some more from Robert Goldsboro. The New York Times says Mr. Goldsboro has all the late writer's stylistic mannerisms down pat. So there you go. I think that this guy does a great job for all those people that are intrigued by Nero Wolfe as a character, and Archie Goodwin as a character and narrator. So there you go. That's Trouble at the Brownstone. This is a trade paper, $16.99. And this comes from mysteriouspress.com/open road.
Perfect. And I think we talked about this the last time you talked about Rex Stout. He lived in La Jolla, and his daughter actually still lives there and has all like old papers and writings and has all kinds. So it's like she needs to get those. She's asked us, and we don't really have the place to like display those for her. But she has got binders of stuff. It's like the La Jolla Library, somebody needs to do something and get all of that stuff together.
I mean, or have have her in discussion with somebody showing this stuff,
Right. Now that's a really good idea. I should do that. I should try and figure that out. Maybe Robert, we should interview her in an.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
That'd be really good.
And I have never talked about about this series, so it must have been somebody else who maybe had a Rex
Yeah,
Stout.
somebody else. There must have been another Rex Stout something then, because I remember saying something about it on here. So it must have been something else that was going on. Although it could just be my old brain too. You never know. All right, lightning round. Gabe, let's go.
Well, I'm going to circle back to Nero Wolf real quick, because
Yeah.
I've been watching on M8Z, one of the many subscription services, streaming services we have, foreign stuff. And there's an Italian Nero Wolf that it's kind of light, but I started watching it and I really liked it. And there's only one season and it's over. Bummer, but it was really fun. So I grabbed the Nero Wolf book, and it was Archie Goodwin meets Nero Wolf, which is actually a Goldsboro book, not an original. But I liked it. So I just picked up my second, I just read a second Nero Wolf, The Lost Father or The Found Father, something like that, that I just finished like a couple of weeks ago. And I'm really enjoying the series. Both, awesome. I like the Goldsboro book. I'm going to read more of the Rex Stouts.
Gotta do it. You got to do it.
But they're fun. They're real quick reads. They're really fun. It's really engaging characters, and I'm hooked on them. So there's like 58 or something. There's a huge number.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Of the Stout. Then there's the Goldsboro.
Yeah.
So the Goldsboro did a good job, I thought.
Gabe,
thanks for that advocacy. I appreciate that.
I know. Yeah. And I'm always stunned, Gabe, because you have enough books on your own list, and it kills me. You read more prolifically, I think, than anybody.
Well, mysteries are easy, I read mysteries really fast. They go fast. So I'm going to jump into my next book, which is it this one? Yes. Colombiana, which is Mariana Velasquez. So Mariana Velasquez, these are not images from this book. Our catalog, I can't pull the pictures up for some reason, but she's a food stylist and has worked with everybody. So that's just a couple of shots of what she does and what she's known for. She's worked, she's done stuff for, Bon Appetit. She's done stuff for every major food magazine, for the New York Times, for New York Magazine. You name it, she's styled food for them. She worked with Michelle Obama real closely with food preparation and the garden as well. So this is a woman who's involved in food. That's her career, is food, and she's from Colombia, and she's bringing us an introduction to Colombian cooking. So she's giving us a little whirlwind tour of the food of her native land, and so far pretty good reviews. Booklist gave it a star review, which I put up there. The heart of the book fulfills all sorts of taste cravings, a celebration of flavor. Good, the chefs are giving us some really good attention, and the reviews are starting to come in really positively. So it's something new, something a little different. It is obviously going to be really nicely illustrated throughout with Mariana's decorations, but it really is not so much about that as it is about the recipes and the food. So a little corner of the world that maybe we haven't really focused on in the past. I'm willing to jump in head first. So
and I think the thing that is a lot of the countries, they all have their own very distinct dishes and flavors that they bring to what might be considered common things, but they all have their own little twists and turns on them that make them super unique. Right. And we definitely, Nancy Warwick is a huge foodie, and Adrian is. And so our cookbook section has a really wide variety. And so this will be a nice addition to that for sure. So thank you. Okay, Patricia.
Hey, well, I'm going to talk about a great series from Yale called Catwalk. These books are so fabulous. They are enormous. They are the full career of major designers. We've done Dior, Chanel, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Yves Saint Laurent. The new one has just come in my door. It's Vivienne Warwick. A sense of the size of the thing. These are enormous tomes. They weigh a ton. They're all color, 1,000 color, and they cover every collection in the career of the designer. So Vivienne Westwood, architect of punk, taking us from Teddy Boys to dressing the Sex Pistols, She said, the only reason I'm in fashion is to destroy the word conformity. So she brought the aesthetics of rebellion into the world of high fashion. She shredded hems and slashed sleeves long before that became something you could pick up every day. Pirates, of course, were her signature image at the beginning. She did lots of quintessential British plaids, and therefore she's the only one who has a plaid cover. Lots of tartans, lots of tweeds and linen. She's actually amazingly learned in art history and fashion history. There's all kinds of takes on bustles and corsets and crinolines. We have top models year by year, Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell. She named every collection, Pirates, Witches, Sex 1974. My favorite is Too Fast to Live, Too Young to Die. She went on to do Worldwide Woman, Climate Revolution, Active Resistance. The books are very exciting to go through. They're chronological. They have great notes, great fashion notes all the way through, and they really bring you a vision. Up ahead, these are generally announced in fall, but then take a long time to arrive. We have Versace, so you can hold your breath for an all gold volume, which
Wow. That'll be amazing. I can see that book on our, because our big feature wall that we've got. We have a beautiful feature wall. I can see that right on that wall.
Because you would not want this to drop on your head.
No, exactly. But yeah, that looks amazing. And that's incredible.
It sure does. I love that quote too. That's great.
Such a good one. Okay, Andrea, close us out.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a children's book for the lightning round, The Book of Horses. And this is 72 pages, paperback, $9.95. So it's a great deal for grandmothers and parents who know that their children or grandchildren have an interest in horses. This is ages 8 to 12, about grades 3 to 7. And this Mortimer children's books, they hail from the UK. And I just want to show you some of like the great illustrations.
Wow, those are great.
Yeah, I just think that this is a winner for any kid who's interested in horses. Really amazing sidebar information, that sort of thing. It talks about all the different kinds of horses, their diets, also discusses famous horses, both fictional and nonfiction horses. And I just think that this is a winner for a kid who wants a book to learn a little bit more about these magnificent creatures. And I also think that adults who are taking a look at these books are going to really enjoy looking at all this stuff too. So yeah, it's such a great value too at $9.95. And I just can't see how this isn't going to sell for a long time in the animal section there at Warwick. So
yep.
Yeah, so that's The Book of Horses, $9.95 from Mortimer Children's, and it's in the store now.
Excellent. And not that La Jolla isn't necessarily horse culture because it's not enough space, but like right next door we've got Rancho Santa Fe that's got Del Mar that's got lots of horse properties. So I definitely see that that doing well for us. I loved all those illustrations. Those were excellent.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with the art in this book. So
yeah. So I'm going to share my screen for a minute too. So Patricia already talked about this lovely event that we're having, which is Noah Eisenberg is going to talk about Billy Wilder on assignment. So there we have that event, so that the information is there. So go to our website and you can see all the good stuff we've got coming. But this week we've got some fun stuff happening. Tomorrow, our very own Amanda, who we see here every week, is going to interview Rachel Stewart-Haas, Mercury in retrograde. So for those of you that believe in it like we do, and all of the chaos that it can cause, come join us tomorrow for this. It's going to be a great conversation. And then on Wednesday, we have Maggie Shipstead will be with us with the Mission Viejo Library. So there's a link right here. I don't know if people are seeing this, but this book has gotten a ton of praise. Seth Combs with the Union Tribune did a great article about this over the weekend. But if you click right here, you can get the information for the Zoom link from the Mission Viejo Library to join us on Wednesday at 6. So a couple great things that are coming this week as far as events go. And then looking out to the future, Christina Baker Klein, Brad Thor, there's more fun things with Sizzling Summer Reads, and Louise Penny. So I've been doing my job. I've been working. I've been booking events.
Yeah, I see that Amanda is our very own Amanda will be in conversation with the author of The Mercury in Retrograde. That should be fun.
I know. I can't wait for that. Well, Amanda, back pre-COVID time, we literally share almost a desk. I mean, my back rests right up against the front of her desk. And so, stuff would be happening and her and I would be, she much more so that she's like, Mercury's in retrograde. And it's just like, so when this book came up, I was like, hey, Amanda, you want to do the interview on this one? So I think it's going to be great. So looking forward to that. Another great week of recommendations. Thank you all very much for giving those to us and for being here with us again this week. So I'm going to say good night to Facebook. This is being recorded, so it'll also be on our YouTube channel. So everybody have a good week. We'll see you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Next week.
Next week.
Bye.